Hey guys, welcome back to another Exploring Cocoapods tutorial, and I haven't done one of these in a long time, but this is a really good one, so I think you guys should watch this and use it. So basically what I'm going to be showing you guys how to do is how to create a line graph, and line graphs are really useful, and we're going to be using a Cocoapod called charts. But there's a small problem with this. It's all written in Objective-C, but it shouldn't make too much of a difference to us. It's just when we're setting colors and things like that. So what I'll do is call this charts demo, and I'll just save this in my YouTube folder. And with all Cocoapods, we just create the project, then we have to close that, open terminal, and I have to actually go to the thing that's stored in, so documents, Xcode, YouTube, charts, demo. Okay, and now I can create my pod file. Now it's done, I'll just open it like this. Code pod file. Oh, it's actually over here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just add the pod. Let me just find it. Cocoapods pod charts, so that's nice and simple. Add that in right there, save that, close that, and pod install. Okay, now I can close this, open up this, and oh, once again it's just over here. I'm just going to put this here, and now we have our project. So now I can show you guys actually how to implement it, which is really simple. So what you do, the first thing you want to do is you want to create a UI view in the main.storyboard, and this is going to be your view which actually has the graph. So there's actually loads of different types of graphs. I'm just going to show you guys the basic line graph for this first one, since that's basically what's like the most useful, and I'll just give this a few constraints. So give this 0, 0, 0, 0, and we have to set this to line chart view. Then we can create a an outlet of it. We actually have to import charts, and now we can start creating the actual chart. So the first thing we can do is we're going to have to create a few points. So we don't have to actually create a struct. I'll do that later, but for now what I can do is I'm going to create a list of all the points, and we have to do it as a special type which is already given to us. It's called chart data entry, and since it's an Objective-C we have to do it as this, a class sort of thing. And now we can add a lot of points to this, so it's just like a normal list, but it has these things, and we'll just use normal X and Y. So the X is quite weird in that if you just do 0 to whatever number, and it will just divide the thing like that. Well, not really divide, but it will do it for you. And then the Y is kind of the same thing. So for the first one, I can have we have to convert everything to double. So this is going to be our first point. It's just going to be nothing, and I'll have 3 points, so the X, and then we can make the Y 100, and then we can have 0.2, and we'll make the Y let's make it 250, so it's exponential. Now we have our point. We have to turn this into a line, so I'm going to create a line, and line chart, this is another type, data set, and we have the entries over here, entries, and this is just our line chart points. Oh, let me create that there, and now we can just now all we do is we set it. And now all we do is we put this line on the graph. So that's easy. You have to create graph data, and it can get a bit complicated, but it makes sense once you see it. So we have to create graph data. So line chart data, and we can add this, add data set line. And this is basically just because if you have multiple lines, then you have to add it over here. So yeah, and the final thing we do is we just set the chart.data to the graph data. And that's actually it. So if I run this now, I just realized I forgot to launch up the simulator, so we'll just have to wait for that to launch. And there isn't a lot of documentation here, but if you scroll to the bottom over here, there's things like these, and there's just some Medium articles, so you should use those. But this video should be good enough for you guys. So yeah, and I'll just wait for this to load in. And there we go. So there's our point. And there are actually a few things we can customize. So the first thing we can do is, if you see here these circles, actually the line color might not be the right color. So what you can do is you can do line.color .colors is equal to, and this is an Objective-C thing, so what you do, it's just ns UI color dot, and now we can just select something like red, and that's good color. And you can also customize the chart itself, so chart.background color, you can change that to any UI color. And if we go back here, we can see we might not want these labels, and the way you fix that is, first of all, you have your x-axis and it has a label on it, and you can edit that label whatever you want. And just to remove it, I just set the text color to clear. If I run this now, the line should be red, and we shouldn't have an x-axis, there's no x, and the line is red, nice. And then these y-axis, let's say you didn't want it on this side, then what you do is chart.right-axis.label text color .clear, run it again, and it's gone. And if you want to get it on this, get rid of it on this side, you just remove the label left axis label text color, and it will do the same thing. And you see it says dataset here. So if you want to change this to something like, you can add this, and then you can just add a label as this can be our line. Run it again. There's our line. Oh, and you might as well just do this, since it just doesn't do anything and it takes away one warning. So now the last thing I'll talk about before finishing is the circles, the actual points, and that can also be customized. So you can actually customize everything here. So you see these points, what you need to do is go to line.circle, and you can set the circle radius to something like 2, and then the circle hole radius, that's actually this hole in the middle, so you can turn that to 0s if you just want it to be a solid circle. Hole radius equals 0, and you can change the color of that circle, so circle colors equals, and I'll just make it this again just so it looks nice. And yeah, that's all I'm going to talk about for now. But yeah, this is our finished graph. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in a future tutorial. Bye.